You're watching the KOAM Morning News on Fox 14.
Right now at 7, a woman's scary experience turns into a heartwarming story just in time for Heart Health Month.
Also, we'll have the latest on road conditions across the four-state area.
And speaking of, road conditions continuing to improve, but got a number of cancellations, closings. That's a sign that it's not great yet. We'll have a look at those road conditions and the forecast to get you out the door coming up.
The four states' most watched news starts now.
Well, good morning and welcome to the KOAM Morning News on Fox 14. I'm Elise Snowe.
And I'm Chris Warner, just after 7 a.m. on this finally Friday.
Yes.
What a week it has been. I don't know about you folks at home. I'm sure it's the same really across a lot of the area. Kids haven't been in school all week. Okay.
I know.
They're going crazy. I'm sure his parents are going crazy. And some folks, you've not been able to really get out much this week either. I mean, it's difficult. And by next week, though, man, it's going to feel like we are on the beaches of South Florida.
Oh, it's
compared to where we are right now.
Yes,
compared to where we are now, that's how it will feel.
It's still going to be so nice.
Yeah, it's going to be pretty nice. And, of course, February, it's about your heart, man.
It certainly is. February is Heart Health Month, a time to raise awareness for the leading cause of death in the four states, heart disease.
And the Neosho woman is sharing her experience of a scary time in her life and how a doctor and his team at Freeman Health performed life-saving surgery. KOAM's Anthony Saviello has her story.
Likewise. It's more than just a warm embrace. It's a reunion between Cindy Brand and the doctor who saved her life.
I love Dr. Bang. I am so thankful that he was the one here. So very thankful.
After a blood clot blocked an artery in her lung last July, Cindy was rushed to the hospital where a series of challenges were presented to Dr. Bang and his team, forcing them to take unique steps to save Cindy's life.
We have these newer techniques now where we can treat this clot in the lungs without giving clot busting medicine with a powerful catheter that can suck that clot out so that blood can flow by and can get oxygenated and supply the rest of the body.
Both Cindy and Dr. Bang agree everything came together perfectly to give Cindy a second chance.
Gee, now that you ask, I hate to admit it, but I think if there might have been even one small misstep along the way, things could have looked different.
Everything just fell in
Everything just was destined to be.
Now Cindy is getting back to normal.
I'm back to work full time. Started slow, but I'm back working full time, and I'm doing really well.
And it's all thanks to Dr. Bang.
Oh, that's awesome. Thank you so much.
Welcome. Thank you.
In Joplin, Anthony Saviello, KOAM News.
Well, Cindy works at an elementary school in Neosho, and she says during her time in the hospital, she received a card every day from students.
Certainly. That's first off, a great story,
Yes.
and it's also heartwarming, too, with the kids. They care about their
Absolutely.
teachers. You know, teachers, you have a hard time as it is, and you know those kids love you, and that's just a fantastic story.
Really is.
And they, I'm sure, are missing you right now because they haven't seen you all week long because of this snow. Oh, boy. But thankfully, they'll see you next week. Just in time for spring break, a couple weeks after. Let's take a look outside downtown Pittsburgh. Again, roads are, let me get straight here. The main roads and highways are 90 to 95% clear. Like you can see here, we still have some slick spots on the main roads, so you've got to be careful. And the other thing is folks coming off side roads, sometimes that snow sticks with you and it's going to come out onto clear spots. So you want to watch out for slick spots out there still. But of course, the reason we have still so many cancellations and closings is because all the side roads are still just messed up. Trash services aren't running in some locations because they can't get down the alleyways or down those side streets. Of course, schools are closed in a lot of locations. But thankfully, we're going to get some melting done. MoDOT camera 20th and range line looking better as well. KDOT reporting Seasonal conditions are wet pavement up around Mound City, parts of Cherokee and Labette counties. And again, that little sliver of 171 on the Kansas side still listed as partly covered. On to the Missouri side, green indicates clear. We're clear everywhere except parts of Berry County, especially around Cassville. Still some partly covered roadways down there. But again, you still want to watch out for some of those slick spots. There's going to be some hit and miss slick spots as we go through the area on the main roads even. We have cold weather advisories for the next couple of hours, Oklahoma and Arkansas, and that's because, well, it's very cold out there again, and it's going to be very cold again tomorrow morning as well, but we're going to continue to improve. Today, partly cloudy skies, calm winds. Those skies will be gradually clearing for us. Still well below normal, but slightly warmer than where we were yesterday, about 10 degrees warmer than yesterday, and that trend again will continue. Right now, though, very cold. We got negative readings: Stockton, Lamar, Pittsburgh, Fort Scott, and Iola. And then you factor in the wind chill. Iola's getting the worst, getting a little bit of a breeze up here. It feels like it's 14 below zero, 10 below in Joplin, 12 below in Carthage, but still minor improvements, and we will continue to see those improvements with calm winds today. Again, partly cloudy skies, gradual clearing, highs still well off of normal, but better as we go into the mid to upper 20s. We'll be another 10 degrees warmer tomorrow, and that trend continues in the next week, where we'll actually be above normal next week. Talk about that here in just a few more minutes. Elise?
All right, Chris, thanks. The plow operators have been hard at work, many working long shifts. This is downtown Pittsburgh, where crews have managed to mostly clear the roads for traffic. Now, the term for what's left behind, a windrow. Now, that's the discharge creating a snow barrier between the lanes, and the scene is similar in communities across the 4 states. While a lot of main roads and highways are mostly clear, plenty of secondary and rural roads look like this. Many are snow-packed and dangerous. Now, this was in Crawford County yesterday. Even in areas that appear to be mostly clear, these extremely cold temperatures can create a potentially hazardous glaze. And while winter weather provides plenty of opportunity for snow day fun, it can also provide opportunity for kids to make some extra money. Now, as you can see, these kids in Carthage dug into the chance to not only make some extra cash, but help out some neighbors as well.
It's great. I mean, instead of sitting around playing on their phones all day, they're out trying to make a difference, not only for themselves, but for other people.
No word on just how much money the boys raked or shoveled in. And don't forget, you can be the first to know about the day's weather with the KOAM Skywatch weather app. Get severe weather updates sent straight to your phone free of charge. It's available in the Apple App Store and the Google Play Store, the KOAM Skywatch weather app. With this week's bitterly cold temperatures, HVAC and plumbing companies are working around the clock to fix broken and frozen pipes, as well as repair furnaces. Reagan DiTriolo shows us how you can help prevent a break from happening when the next cold snap hits.
With the cold weather, it's been very busy here.
J.W. DeLong with DeLong Plumbing, Heating, and Air says the work has been nonstop and it's only going to continue.
We'll stay pretty busy with frozen pipes as people find them. As those frozen pipes thaw out, we'll be repairing those broken pipes and things like that. And then those broken hose bibs we'll continue to do all the way through, early spring into midsummer even.
On Thursday, DeLong's crews worked on frozen pipes at the walk on West Bypass. Its pipes are located in a closet on the outside of the building.
That room gets very hot in the summer and very cold in the winter, and this is our first year being open, so we're just learning all of the little quirks.
The owner had to close Thursday since there was no water.
We had the heat on, just like you're supposed to do, kept the water dripping, but unfortunately our pipes are on the outside of the building in a closet, and we actually have a heated fan in there as well, and it still didn't prevent it.
It's really been three to four guys on a nonstop basis on the plumbing side, 2 to 3 guys on the HVAC side.
And if your pipes do break or freeze up, it's best to ask for assistance immediately.
We gave them a call the first thing this morning, and they were able to get out here really quickly. They stated that there were several people in the area that had pipes that were either busted or frozen as well.
And for your furnace, experts say to make sure and change your filters out, and don't forget to replace the batteries in your thermostat. And those are our top news stories this half hour. Coming up next, Learn how you can use AI to help you make your business run more efficiently. And later, a program in Minnesota is helping push the boundaries of women in the construction business. You're watching the KOAM Morning News on Fox 14. Welcome back. Well, businesses are always looking for ways to increase their efficiency, and now with the power of AI, efficiency can be taken to a whole new level. We have Jason Rinker from Stronghold Data with us this morning with an invitation to learn more about how to harness the power of AI. Good morning, Jason.
Good morning.
How are you?
I'm great. A
Good.
little cold, but great.
It's chilly out there, isn't
Very
it?
much so.
Happy to have you nonetheless. So talk to me, for those who might not know, what Stronghold Data is and what you all do.
Stronghold Data is a technology services company, so anything technology related, we can typically help out with that. And we've been in business for over 35 years,
Okay.
so technology's changed so much
Yes.
in the last 35 years, right? To where we're at now with the artificial intelligence, and I think that's why we're here today to have some conversations around that.
Absolutely. And so you will be having a big conversation this Monday with a lunch and learn. Talk to me about that lunch and learn and kind of what the topics you guys are going to be covering.
Really the biggest topic is how organizations, businesses, individuals can leverage artificial intelligence or AI to help make better decisions, become more efficient. And one of those tools most organizations use is called Excel.
Right.
And Excel, if you're like me, I'm a novice at Excel, so I'm finding myself having to Google different things on how to make it do what I want it to do, and it still isn't right. To those people that are just power users, I mean, they can just use Excel and do things I've never even dreamed possible.
Right.
So no matter where you're at on that spectrum,
Okay.
you can leverage AI to enhance where you're, what you're trying to do, what you're trying to accomplish. Artificial intelligence has really been a game changer. So you can leverage the data to make better decisions. You can become more efficient. Maybe you're trying to take that data that's within Excel to make pretty graphs and pictures. And so you can convert that over and maybe spend less time trying to figure out how to use the tool and then using the tool.
Absolutely. No. Is this open for the public or is this strictly for organizations and business leaders?
No, this is open to the public.
Fantastic.
Yes. If you're using Excel, consider coming to this event. The event is at no charge. It's going to be about a 3-hour workshop. So bring your laptop, bring your device, connect to our guest Wi-Fi, and let's learn together. So we're going to have Retta Shafani. He's the one that's going to be leading the conversation. We've even invited people that are attending to send us examples of what they would like to learn. So you should have the registration link where they can sign up. It's going to be at our offices in Joplin on East 24th Street, and it's going to start at 10 a.m. and go to 1. Lunch is included, and let's learn together.
Fantastic. Well, Jason, thank you so much. Of course, as he mentioned, we will have that link to sign up on our website later on this morning. That's KOAMnewsnow.com. Stick around. We'll be right back.
Welcome back to the KOAM Morning News, 7:17 on this finally Friday here in the 4 states. Start with a live look downtown Pittsburgh, getting some sunshine out there, and we'll have a little more of that as we head into our Saturday. We still want to watch out. Again, main roads are about 90 to 95% clear in all honesty, but there's still going to be those slick spots, and you've also got to watch out because see this is going right into that left turn lane here, and so if you are not cautious, you're going to end up running into a few problems that you don't want to run into out there. But again, main roads are looking pretty good. It's the side roads that are leading to all those cancellations and closings at the bottom of your screen and on our website because buses, garbage trucks, even things like that can't get through because we haven't been warm enough to really get any kind of real melting done, especially on the roadways. And since a lot of folks have been at home, nobody's driving on these roads to clear them either. Not that I recommend that. MoDOT Camera 20th and Rangeline looking good. The other thing you want to watch out for too is in some of those areas again where like the right turn lanes, the left turn lanes may be covered or a side street may be covered. That snow sometimes will follow the vehicles out into a clear section of road, and you can run into a slick spot pretty quickly out there, so you definitely want to be cautious. KDOT reporting pretty well clear roads through most of southeast Kansas. Still some slick spots around Mound City, parts of Cherokee and Labette counties, and then partly covered K171 from 69 to the state line. On the Missouri side of things, again, clear roads across the region, clear roads across the state, with the exception in our area of around the Cassville area in Berry County. Still some partly covered roadways down there as well, so things to watch out for. And for about the next hour and a half, we've got cold weather advisories, Arkansas and Oklahoma. This is because it is very cold out there this morning, and it will be very cold again tomorrow morning. It's a gradual thing, but we're seeing, even from yesterday, starting today, we're seeing about 10-degree increases in our temperature each day as we head into Monday of next week. It's approximately 10 degrees. There are going to be a few days where it might be like 11 or 12, but you get the idea here. It's a warming trend. That's the most important thing. Partly cloudy skies today. Those skies will continue to gradually clear as we head into the afternoon and evening hours. Winds should be calm. Our temperature is still well below average, but again, 10 degrees warmer or so than where we were yesterday. Very cold again tonight. South winds pick up a bit, 5-10 miles an hour. That'll put our wind chills for some of us back into the single digits. So another bitterly cold start to the day. However, southwest winds increase, and then we start to see those gusts upwards of 20. And take a look at noon. I know it's not great, but it's a lot better than where we're going to be at noon today. A lot of low 30s out there. That's ahead of highs pushing the upper 30s, maybe even some low 40s in our southern counties with plentiful sunshine. And as I mentioned, that warming trend will continue. So overnight Saturday into Sunday, we're going to be starting Sunday cold, yes, in the 20s, but these are our highs for today. Our highs, and this is where we're starting Sunday. Take a look. When we advance to noon Sunday, lots of mid-40s out there. In general, just lots of 40s. As we head later into the afternoon, take a look at these temperatures. Upper 40s, low 50s. So it's going to be quite nice. And definitely better than where we are right now, where we've got Stockton, for example, 6 below 0, 4 below 0 in Pittsburgh, 3 below Lamar, 2 in Nevada, Fort Scott, 3 below in Iola. Those are below 0 locations. And our wind chills, Iola is getting in on it. 15 below 0 is what it feels like. 11 below 0 in Carthage. So we do have a light breeze, and right now it's cold enough that that's making a pretty big difference. But that breeze will be canceled soon, and it'll be pretty nice. Single digits to start. Partly cloudy skies, upper teens by 11 o'clock this morning. Highs today, mid-upper 20s. Winds will be calm, and skies will continue to clear as we head through the afternoon and into the evening hours. Back down into the low teens with those south winds around 5 to 10 miles an hour. We go down the road again, upper 30s tomorrow, upper 40s about 50 on Sunday, upper 50s, low 60s Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, rain chances Wednesday, and then we're going to hold on to the 50s and 60s as we head through the end of next week. So some nice weather on the way, just a couple days away. It's going to feel fantastic out there, and we'll definitely get some melting done. Let's check your forecast. We are back with more right after this. Women continue to break barriers in the construction industry, and in Mankato, Minnesota, there's a unique collaboration called Building the Tiny Home for the YWCA.
Now, it's part of the Trades Trailblazers Initiative, a partnership between the YWCA Mankato and APX Construction Group to allow middle school girls to engage in construction.
I think what makes it so unique is the amount of people that are willing to donate the time, materials, and efforts to teach people about construction. Not people, but women and not in the industry, and they want people in the industry. That's why they donate their time.
We got connected with Apex through the career fair that we host every year, and they said, hey, we're doing this super cool project and we'd love for you to be a part of it, and we were very excited about it, and yeah, it's been great so far.
And it was why not? Why not teach people how to do construction?
All of the girls here, they're all in middle school. I never had this opportunity in middle school to kind of learn how to build and how to do construction, and also all of the subcontractors that have been working here. It's been great, very helpful, very hands-on.
Mainly my parents just asked me because my friends were interested. I really like picking out colors and decorating.
I just wanted something new because I haven't done anything like this before, and just something to fill my time.
In the construction management major alone, only 7% of us are women. And then in our group, we have about 10 to 15 on a good day, but usually around 5 to 6 people come to our meetings.
As somebody who doesn't have any previous construction experience, I was very scared kind of coming into this major. You kind of have people or maybe different stereotypes around women not being in construction, but I've started here and I love the people, I love the opportunities. There's so many areas to grow, there's so many things to learn, and yeah, I'd say do it. There's so much out there for you.
certainly important to be breaking these barriers and getting girls into things, because it's so weird. It's the 21st century, and unfortunately there are still racial tensions. There are still tensions between sexes, genders as well. Things that people say, well, women can't do that or men can't do that. It's the 21st century,
but
people.
It's great to have organizations that are saying, yes, you can, and we'll help you. We'll help you do it.
Absolutely. That's what you've got to do, because yes, you can.
And coming up, Miami residents took the opportunity to voice their concerns over problematic flooding in the area.
The 4 states' most watched news starts now.
Welcome back to the KOAM Morning News on Fox 14. It's currently 7:29. I'm Elise Noe. Well, it's been a problem and the source of frustration for years. The recurring issue of flooding was the topic of a town hall meeting in Miami last night. Now, last night's meeting comes amid ongoing litigation between the city of Miami and the Grand River Dam Authority. KOAM's Melissa Alexis has more.
The damage has been done. GRDA has flooded us. They've done it willingly, they've done it knowingly, and they've done it with intent.
The city of Miami held a town hall meeting where community members could make their voices heard about the flooding their community has been dealing with for years.
It's caused economic damage. It's caused people to not be able to have homes anymore. They had to have homes destroyed or spend months repairing it or move altogether.
And the lawyer for the city says the cause of all the flooding is the Grand River Authority, who controls the Pensacola Dam. The Pensacola Dam holds the water in Grand Lake.
That GRDA is causing dam-caused flooding, and the GRDA needs to be held accountable, and they either need to address those issues.
The city says this is a result of the GRDA's mismanagement of the waterway and their current license.
We want there to be rules and regulations to them operating this dam, and we want them to be followed. Right now, there's rules and regulations been put in place, but they don't follow any of them.
At the town meeting, they asked that the community share their input on proposed Federal Energy Regulatory Commission license conditions.
Just to give their thoughts as to what improvements they think would be available or would make the city better, so that those can then be presented to the Federal Energy Regulatory Commission so that they can be considered as part of the relicensing process.
Over 400 people and businesses who have suffered as a result of the flooding have filed a civil suit against the GRDA. This is still ongoing.
Our main goal is for Miami not to flood.
The goal of the meeting was to answer questions from the public and hear the experiences of those who have struggled with flooding. Reporting in Miami, Melissa Alexis, KOAM News.
Well, last year, the Federal Energy Regulatory Commission found that the Pensacola Dam project had increased flooding around Miami. And the wintry conditions this week forced several businesses across the 4 states to close their doors, creating challenges for both owners and employees. Now that they've reopened, we visited some Joplin businesses and spoke with customers to see just how thrilled they are to return to their favorite places.
Oh, it's great. We have a really decent customer base. A lot of regulars. I've already had a few this morning come in. And we do a lot of to-go orders, DoorDash and otherwise. I've actually had a couple of downtown businesses already come in and ask for a couple of orders.
Ever since things started opening back up yesterday, I was able to get out of the house for a little bit and get to do some remote work at one of my favorite coffee shops, Joplin Avenue Coffee. Support local if you can. It's great to get out if you can.
Businesses we spoke to said that Facebook played the largest role in letting customers know they were back open again. And to be the first to see breaking news, weather, and sports, you can download the KOAM News app. It's available free of charge in the Apple App Store and the Google Play Store. Just search for the KOAM News app. And don't be surprised if you happen to see a black bear if you're a Missouri resident. Experts say the black bear population in the Show Me State has grown over the last 10 years. The Missouri Department of Conservation say the population growth is a success story and credits the department for the state's bear management program. The department also says the growth is a good indicator for how people are doing.
So it's just the fact that we have the positive side of this thriving bear population is it means that we have a habitat that bears can thrive in. I mean, if bear populations weren't doing well, that would probably mean that there's some concerns out there for humans too.
The department says the bear's primary range is in forested areas south of I-44. And that's a look at our top news stories coming up this half hour on the KOAM Morning News. Shannon Becker is in the studio this morning with his big 3 stories of the week. Welcome back. We've got Shannon Becker in the studio with his big 3 stories of the week. Good morning, Shannon.
Good morning.
How are you doing today?
Well, I tell you, I don't get, crazy religious often, but I thank the Lord for heat and shelter.
I know, right?
You know what I mean?
After this week.
Oh my gosh.
Goodness.
I haven't remembered
crazy.
it this cold in a long time. So thank you so much to the Lord.
Absolutely.
Let's take a look at the big 3 this week. What's happening where you live is about 3:30 a.m. Reports of a fire in Carthage. We're talking about those extreme temperatures.
Right.
That night it was -6. It felt like about -14.
Mm-hmm.
And there was one way into this rural neighborhood near Carthage, and they had equipment failure. Everything was froze up. They had an assisting department come and block the road because one of their trucks broke down and they couldn't get the water until some others could come and help.
And there were no fire hydrants in that area.
No fire hydrants. Yeah, if you live in a rural area outside of town, that's the perks of living in town. You have accessible water,
yes.
obviously. They did as much as they could. The house was a total loss, but no one was injured in that fire, rural Carthage. Our number 2 story, we brought it to you from the beginning. We were live late that night, Saturday, when a man was shot and killed in Carthage, right behind Whistler's across the alley. Carthage police detectives then spent all night developing information. We've got breaking news for you this morning and an update. Not only do they have 5 witnesses to the shooting, also a neighbor filmed it on their cell phone.
Very interesting.
It happened in the front yard. There's a vehicle that was involved, and we were there the next morning when Elijah Hardy was taken into custody in Galena, Kansas, and that car still had blood on the hood.
Wow.
And they towed it from this residence here, you can see, in Galena. Of course, the young man who died, 22 years old, he was a father of a 3-year-old child. You can read more about that story. KOAM News Now. It's tragic, breaking news. KOAM News on our website. And then our number 1 story of the week, the big 3. It's a precious cargo. Is it gold? Is it silver? No, it's eggs.
Eggs. Oh, look at that. Oh.
The Will Rogers Turnpike on Tuesday and all the melee of everything. Yeah, look at that. That's like gold bullion, right?
I know.
There's a whole truck full of eggs that was rear-ended, destroyed, eggs all over the highway. And they froze so quickly, too. And of course, they're kind of slick if you've ever walked on eggs. I have, but maybe you haven't.
Only eggshells.
Yeah, walk on eggshells around. Yeah, exactly. So no one was injured, though, in those series of crashes. That was quite a day on Tuesday. And then our bonus story of the week, the Joplin tornado. I know a lot of us lived through it. March 19th, Netflix has announced they are releasing a documentary about it. It was filmed. Here's a picture from Norma's Diner. It was about 14 months ago. They filmed all their interviews there after hours, so it's kind of got that local flair.
Yes.
You can watch the film like everybody else. You got to be a member of Netflix or sign up for Netflix. Details are on our website. It's a Netflix documentary. It's called In the Eye of the Storm.
In the Eye of the Storm.
So I guess it's a different perspective of people who actually were in the middle of it all.
Very interesting.
So it'll be fascinating. And some people might not want to see it.
True.
It still
of
causes
course.
a lot of trauma for a lot of people.
Absolutely.
So.
Well, Shannon, as always, thank you so much for being with us this Friday morning. Happy to have you. Stick around. We'll be right back. Well, topping Health Watch this morning, the U.S. Department of Agriculture issued a conditional license for an avian flu vaccine. Now it would be used in chickens amid an outbreak ravaging poultry flocks, contributing to the rising price of eggs. Ivan Rodriguez breaks down what this vaccine could mean for consumers and the agriculture industry.
If you've been to a supermarket in the last few weeks, you've noticed that not only are eggs increasingly expensive, they're also becoming harder and harder to find.
Dr. Jonathan Reiner with George Washington University School of Medicine and Health Sciences says the U.S. has a decision to make.
Whether to vaccinate the flocks in this country and deal with the political repercussions of that from the GOP base, or deal with rising egg prices and maybe eggs coming in from Mexico.
While other countries already vaccinate chickens against bird flu, the U.S. approach has long been focused on eradicating the virus, mainly through culling flocks of birds when a case is identified. Historically, vaccination has been thought to carry a number of complications, including making it difficult to detect the virus in inoculated birds and trade concerns that may result from that. Over the last 30 days, 151 flocks have been confirmed to have avian flu, affecting more than 23 million birds, according to the Animal and Plant Health Inspection Service, part of the USDA. Dr. Paul Offit says people could also become sick.
And certainly it can infect people who come in close contact with chickens and inhale a lot of the virus into their lower respiratory tract, their lungs.
Zoetis, the manufacturer behind the vaccine, says its scientists began updating its existing avian flu vaccine in 2022. In a statement, Zoetis noted the decision to vaccinate commercial poultry flocks rests solely with the national regulatory authorities in consultation with their local poultry sector.
The U.S. Centers for Disease Control says the risk to the public of getting infected remains low, though those who work on farms with infected animals are at a higher risk. And food contamination is becoming more widespread and in many cases severe. Now, according to a report published, by the Public Interest Research Group, most illnesses in 2024 were linked to just 13 outbreaks. And that's despite more than 300 food recalls last year. Researchers say Salmonella, Listeria, and E. coli were the most common reasons for food recalls. 19 people died from an illness related to contaminated food, double the number from 2023. And the racial gap in cancer deaths still exists, but it's growing smaller. A study by the American Cancer Society found Black men and women still have twice the risk of death than white men and women for prostate, uterine, and stomach cancer. But overall, deaths are lower due to advances in treatment and detection and a decline in cigarette use among Black teens. Long-term daily users of cannabis are at risk for serious health problems. A study by George Washington University found a condition called cannabinoid hyperemesis syndrome is on the rise as the number of daily cannabis users increases in the U.S. Now, the illness causes nausea, vomiting, and excruciating pain and requires repeated trips to the hospital. In our workplace, conflicts don't just affect our health, but our spouses as well. A study by the University of East Anglia found workplace bullying often causes employees to lose sleep, but that insomnia can, in a way, be contagious when one partner loses sleep. The other one does too, which can have a negative impact on daily life. Well, there's a big misconception this time of year. Very cold air makes you sick. Now, old-time sayings like wear a coat or you'll catch a cold can be misleading. Nicolette Zingara debunks this myth and tells us what's really going on in our bodies.
It's easy when it's cold outside to just want to kind of tuck in and stay inactive, but the more active we can get and making sure we're still getting healthy diets, and then again, stay on top of those preventative services.
Getting a flu shot, avoiding big crowds, and staying home when sick are 3 big ways to stop the spread. And don't forget to wash your hands properly and frequently. It's the #1 way to avoid a virus.
Recommend that you do about 20 seconds. Scrub areas you don't always get to, the back of your hands, underneath your fingernails. And just do it. You know, you can sometimes sing a birthday song or ABCs to get through it. And that kind of gives you the idea of how long you should be doing it. It's great for
hand sanitizer is fine in a pinch, but does not guarantee the same effectiveness. Flu numbers recently peaked for the Ozarks, but numbers are dropping.
Flu numbers are still reporting in as high. It does look like we may have peaked, at least the current numbers coming in. That could change because we're not out of the flu season, but they are starting to come down a little bit.
And remember, the cold is still a stressor on your body, and this is especially true for vulnerable populations like the elderly, children, and those with pre-existing conditions. The longer you spend outside, the more energy your body needs to warm you back up. That's a look at Health Watch. We'll be right back. Well, volleyball is seeing a boom in popularity, especially with women and girls. Now, it's the #1 sport by participation for high school girls and one of college athletics' hottest properties. Now, the biggest stars of professional women's volleyball are set to face off at the inaugural All-Star match. Danya Bacchus has more on the history-making event.
There's no denying the spike in popularity of women's volleyball. From a growing fan base to 3 professional leagues, the sport is having its moment.
What do you think it is about volleyball, especially women's and girls volleyball, that is causing it to grow in popularity?
I think it's super entertaining.
Ronica Stone plays for the Pro Volleyball Federation San Diego Mojo.
It's almost like an art when you're watching the game being played, everyone moving in unison and the mismatches and the crossing patterns.
With 7 teams and its inaugural 2024 season, PVF drew in nearly 400,000 fans.
If you wanted to play professionally, you had to pack your bags and leave the country.
Jen Spiker is PVF's CEO.
They can stay home, they can play for, their market or their team, but they can also play in front of their family and friends. And we're delivering a real living wage. Our base minimum pay is $60,000 for the 5-month season.
The league wants to capitalize on the sport's growth. In its sophomore year with 8 teams, they are already seeing a bump in attendance.
If you look at team sports, I would argue that women's indoor volleyball is probably the only sport that in no way, shape, or form takes a backseat to the men's version.
The league is making history. Hosting the inaugural All-Star Volleyball game on CBS, Stone is part of the lineup.
I'm so grateful to be a part of it, the building blocks, but there's so many women that set the foundation long before us.
Now there's hope this televised first will catapult the sport to new heights.
A PVF's inaugural women's volleyball all-star match takes place Saturday at Fisher's Event Center, home of the league's newest franchise, the Indy Ignite. Stick around. We have the news you need to know right after this. And here's a check of today's top headlines, the news you need to know before you head out the door. The city of Miami held a town hall meeting last night about flooding issues in town. The mayor says the Grand River Dam Authority, a power electric utility, has been flooding Miami for decades. Now, the mayor, along with the city's legal team, took some time to hear from the public about the impacts the flooding may have had on them. The bitter cold can also take its toll on your home's pipes and heating system. HVAC and plumbing companies see a rise in business during this time of year, fixing broken and frozen pipes as well as furnaces. The one business owner says one thing you can do to help protect your furnace is to change your filters. And don't forget to keep fresh batteries in your thermostat. And don't be surprised if you happen to see a black bear if you're a Missouri resident. The black bear population in the Show Me State has grown over the last 10 years. The Missouri Department of Conservation say the population growth is a success story and credits the department for the state's bear management program. Well, Girl Scout cookie fans, get excited. The organization is about to hold its biggest weekend sale. Now, today through Sunday marks National Girl Scout Cookie Weekend. Girl Scout cookie lovers from all over the country can order their favorite flavors for direct delivery or pickup. Now, consumers are encouraged to buy directly from a registered Girl Scout, but if they don't know a troop personally, they can use the Girl Scout Cookie Finder to locate the closest cookie booth to them. And if you've ever tried boiling an egg, you know it can be challenging. Well, now scientists think they have come up with a new method for the perfect hard-boiled egg. Now, their technique is known as periodic cooking. It involves alternating the eggs between boiling and lukewarm water for 2 minutes at a time. Now, this cycle needs to be repeated 8 times for 32 minutes. Scientists say this optimally cooks the egg white and yolk simultaneously without separating them. Now, it produces the ideal texture and flavor, and it also helps the egg retain the most nutrients. I think I'm going to stick to the Girl Scout cookies on that one. Not the biggest fan of hard-boiled eggs, but thank you so much for letting us put the good in your morning. We'll be back with more news and weather at noon. Have a great rest of your morning.